Assalamu alaikum shabab. As we know, we have three different types of load: the resistive load, capacitive load, or inductive load. Now, the resistance, of the resistive load can be measured. The inductive reactance can be measured for the inductive load, and the capacitive reactance can be measured for the capacitive load. Now, the total of both two, we call it pure reactance. And here the resistance value. Now, if we add those two together to find the total, we call it Z, or impedance. So total is, the unit is ohm. Now, if this is 0 and we have only resistance, the impedance is equal to the resistance. So doesn't matter. You write it as R equal 10 ohm or Z equal 10 ohm, because the imaginary part are 0. And the same as well for the opposite. If no resistance and we have only XL, the inductive reactance, XL will equal Z if this is 0 and this is 0. So this is only, for example, like total resistance, R total. But in the AC we call it impedance. So we have resistance, reactance, which combine both two together, and the impedance. Now we have two types of representation for the value of the resistance or reactance. We have the polar form and the rectangular form. The polar form is giving you the magnitude and the angle. Magnitude and angle, magnitude and angle. While the rectangular form, it gives you the real number, the imaginary number, and the angle of the imaginary number. Because since the real number is 0, this is the real number, so there is no going up or down to hit the imaginary number, so the angle is always 0. Now, if we go up or down, we are talking about this part, that's why J is existed. Now, the polar form is best used for multiplication and division. If you multiply 10, angle is 80, with 9, angle is 50, multiply this number by this number and add the angles together, so the total will be 90, 130. And the same for the division. You have to divide this number by this number and you subtract the angles together. So what if we switch sides? What will happen? You divide this one by this one, you'll get half. You subtract this one from this one, or subtract this one by this one, you will get minus 40. So you always start from here. So this is the easiest way to do the multiplication and division using a polar form. Rectangular form, as I told you, it consists of real part and imaginary part. If my load is only resistive, this one will equal 10, and I have no imaginary part, so the total will be 10. XL, the pure XL, there is no real part, no R, and the angle is plus 90 because J is equivalent to 90. So the total will be plus J10, which is equivalent to this number, 10 magnitude, while angle is 90. XC, the angle 0 real part, minus J10, because the angle is minus 90. I will end up with this one, and this is another representation for this number. Now, the rectangular form is best used for the adding and subtracting. So if we have those two numbers together, I only add 10 plus 3 and add 5 plus 6, I will end up with 13 plus J11. Subtracting, I will subtract 2 by 4, I will get minus 2, then minus 3 minus 3, so I will get minus 6. Now, if I have two different types of load, resistive and inductor. How can I represent them? By the polar form. The resistive will be 10, angle is 0. The inductor will be, the magnitude is 8, the angle is 90, and the impedance, which is Z, which is equal 12.8 with this angle. Now the polar form, or the rectangular form, sorry, the real part is 10, since it's an inductor, so plus J, the magnitude of the inductor is 8. If I convert this number to a polar form, I will get exactly the same number as this one. Now, let's take this example, 3 plus J4. So the resistive value is 3 plus J, it's an inductor. 4, the magnitude of the inductor. So I have a resistive and inductor. The value of the resistive is 3. The value of the inductor is 4. Now, if I want to represent them in the vector representation, I cannot add them together شباب. ما أقدر أزيد 4 زائد 3 يساوي 7. ما أقدر. Why? Because this has an angle of 90 degree and this one has no angle, the resistive. So I have to use Pythagoras, قانون Pythagoras شباب, اللي هو square root 3 square plus 4 square. The result will be 5. Now the magnitude of both two is 5 and the angle, okay, is 53.13. Now this number, which is the magnitude, with this angle will be exactly the polar form. So the rectangular form will be as a vector, okay, the sum will be the polar form. If I want to do this multiplication using the calculator, I cannot use this angle. I can see 4 shift, okay, the angle will not come. Why? Because the mode of calculator is not complex. So first of all, I have to convert it to complex 2. Now it's a complex, so I can do the multiplication. 10 angle 80 multiply 9 angle 50. The total will be 90 angle 30, 130. Now this is done in rectangular form. How can I convert it to polar form? Just shift complex 2 and convert it to this one, 3. 90 angle is 130. 90 angle is 130. Now if I want to make the mode of calculator always showing the answer in polar form, not rectangular as it was shown before, so what I have to do is just shift mode, then down 3 complex, then show the answer always in polar form 2. Now خلاص 10 angle is 80 multiply 9 angle is 50. It will show the answer in polar form always. So either you change the mode or by shift mode down to just set the default answer. Now if I want to do the rectangular form, let's take this example, 10 plus J5, 10 plus, now the number comes before the J in the calculator, okay, just click this one, J, plus 3 plus J6, 3 plus 6J, okay, and the number will be shown in polar form. Why? Because we've set it before to show the answer in polar form. So I have two ways. either to make it default answer the rectangular form by shift mode, then down, then 3, then 1. It will be shown as this, okay, or by just switch it one time. Let's go back, down, 3, 2, just one time by using shift 2. خلاص convert it to this one, the rectangular, sorry, it should be 4, so yes, shift complex 4, 13 plus 11 I, 13 plus 11 J, sorry.